Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's NFL edition of Proline. You can see Jim Feist, world champion handicapper, in the middle of your screen. Chirimbes is on the far left, the master of the big play. I'm Dave Cokin, and we're going to talk some NFL. We're going to look at a couple of good matchups. 49ers taking on the Jets, also the Giants and Eagles. If you're wondering about conversation about what happened on Monday, you want to check the NFL preview show. A review show, that if you want to call it that, the NFL recap show we do, that's available on the website as well. We had a lengthy discussion on that, but I think we can finally talk about now what's going to happen this weekend, because that's what's really important. What's next in the National Football League? Try and get you some winners. And we've got some great offers to tell you about as well. Jim, I've got you listed right on top here, and why not? South Carolina unloads on Missouri. Kansas State, they're plus 15 against Oklahoma. They didn't need any of those points. They won the game outright. And some great stuff coming up this weekend.
Absolutely, Dave. It was a nice weekend for me, and topped it off with some nice pro winners as well. Doing well right now. We're actually smoking hot at some of these big plays, and we've got some stuff going on this weekend I think everybody should know about. I got a pair of college conference games of the year on Saturday, both for $29 at 1-866-841-1655. I also have a personal elite play that's online right now for $2,000. Last week's personal elite, another upset winner, underdog winner, Arizona Cardinals, 27-6 over the Eagles, the turnover champion Eagles. And that was another big winner for me, for my pocketbook and all my fans. And when you call the 1-866-841-1655, make sure you ask for the huge fan-friendly discount for Sunday's NFL personal release. Again, that number is 1-866-841-1655. Dave?
Well, I want to go to Chip, because you had the Jaguars come home for you, the Bears come home for you. But, man, you had to be cursing at the you ended up winning it, but they got that crazy regulation finish in the Tennessee-Detroit game. I know you had the Titans in that game, Chip. You don't want to see Hail Marys going against you in situations like that.
My goodness, Dave! I have an 18-point lead with 14. I have a 14-point lead with 18 seconds to go, and I have to go to overtime to win the game. And you could always be in jeopardy in overtime. We know that when you're only getting 3.5 or whatever. The thing was, that was my NFL Major Shocker game of the month, which makes my NFL Major Shockers 3-0 right now on the season. We also had the Bears and the Jaguars, like you mentioned, so we're trotting right along in NFL football. This week, starting Thursday night with the Ravens and Browns, right on through Monday with the 3-pack on Saturday, and my NFL major blowout of the year on Sunday, all through Monday for only $19. Give me a call at 866-841-1665. $19. And like Jim said, he's got his game up for $2,000. My game's up for $500. So this is an incredible deal you're getting here with this NFL game of the year. So just give me a call. We're all doing so well with this in the early season, in spite of who's refereeing these games. Maybe actually it's an age for us. But we're at 1-866-841-1665.
I like to think I'm picking the games where the NFL referees don't matter. The fact is, it's been that good. Most of the games that I've been on really haven't been that close. Let's start on Saturday. I had kind of a back-and-forth Saturday in college football because I lost a couple of big plays. But the under-the-hat triple header that I advertised, that went 2-1. And actually, that just missed 3-0. I had some bad luck at the end of games on Saturday. Army was just a horrible ending for me. Wake Forest scored a front door touchdown while they were trying to run out the clock, basically. That was a tough loss for me. But I had Western Michigan, UTEP, and then the Florida State, which just missed on the under-the-hat triple header. But still 2-1. Sunday just crushed on my top plays. I had two big totals. The Browns game under, which ended with Buffalo on the Cleveland 2-yard line, but hey, they didn't get in, and it stayed under. Easy winner on the over in the Pittsburgh-Oakland, and my top side was the Atlanta Falcons, and that was a cinch. So I'm real pleased with the way things are going. The NFL's been just awesome so far. This weekend, $9. You're going to get 3 full days of plays. I'm going to include Ohio State and Michigan State. Also, if you sign up early, you're going to get a TV game tonight and one of my big plays, $500 window play going on Saturday. And the window plays have been tremendous ever since the start of the preseason. So make sure and take advantage of this. 1-866-896-1629. It's only $9. It's 1-866-896-1629. All right, let's talk some football. 49ers making the coast-to-coast journey. They will be back east to face the Green Slime, also known as the New York Jets. Chip came up with that name years ago. I always liked it because I'm not a Jets fan. But I can be a Jets fan on occasion because I occasionally will bet the New York Jets. And on those days, I'm wearing the green and white. Well, maybe not really, but I'm rooting for them. Look, the 49ers played a bad game last week. They weren't good against the Vikings. And now they have to come right back and go even further across the country to face the Jets. Not an easy excursion, Chip.
No, it's their longest trip of the year coming to New York, and it's their third road game in 4 tries. And, I watched that Viking 49er game in its entirety, and they were manhandled, Dave. They were really physically pushed around. Now, Minnesota didn't move the ball all that great. I think they had 268 yards in total offense, but 3 49er turnovers certainly didn't help. And now they're coming into New York, and I'll tell you, Jim and Dave, I don't know how a team could look as bad as the Jets can look and actually win a football game against the Miami Dolphins last week. The Dolphins' ineptitude, missing overtime field goals, missing field goals in the fourth quarter, really aided the Jets. Now the Jets come home where they have to be a little bit more comfortable, but there's no Darrelle Revis. So, they call him on an island. They put him on an island because he can play. He is a great defensive player. I don't care if you're a Jet fan or not. This guy can play football. He's gone for the year. It would be very difficult to take the Jets here. I think the Jets, who are like 26th in rushing and really having or 17th in rushing, are having difficulties moving the ball. I think this game is destined to stay under the total. I mean, the 49ers are looking to run the ball. Alex Smith hasn't turned the ball over, but it hasn't been so outstanding with the 49ers. I see both these teams playing a more conservative role, and I think the Jets know that's the only chance they have in this game is to keep it close, to keep the clock running, and to see if they can eke out a last-minute victory. So I'm going to play this game under between the Niners and the Jets.
It looks like that to me as well, Chip. I mean, where are the Jets going to find points in this football game? This is a first-rate defense they're going against. And even last week, in the loss against Minnesota, it's not like the 49ers defense was awful. It wasn't their best game, but Minnesota didn't go wild against them. They didn't have a lot of yards. It was just a bad game for the 49ers, and particularly bad on offense. I think they're going to come in here ready to play. And so it makes me very leery of trying to beat San Francisco, even though they're traveling 3,000 miles. And the Jets just don't have the offense that's going to generate points. I mean, to me, it's going to be a fluke if they put up more than 20, shall we say, in this game. That would, to me, be an absolute high-water mark for the Jets. I think it's going to be less than that. So I'm going to go along with what you're thinking. I think the Jets do have to play it that way. They can't try and get it to shoot out. I don't think the 49ers would let them anyway. It looks like a ball-control day with some decent drives both ways. Barring turnovers or special team scores, Jim, I think this game's going to stay under the total as well.
Well, I agree with both of you on that analysis, but let me point out a couple things that I learned this morning. There's a possibility that the actual regular refs will be back by Sunday. That's the league and the officials, the refs, met until 3 or 4 o'clock this morning. They're close on a lot of subjects, close enough to sign a deal. So there is a possibility these guys who already have been vetted and trained and everything else could be back on the field for these games this weekend. If that happens, you're going to see a lot lower scoring. They call the games differently. The players won't get away with the BS they've been trying to pull on the sub-officials. You're going to see lower scores. You're going to go back into what we normally saw last year or the year before because they're going to call it tighter. But, I mean, we do have spread offenses out there that will stretch those limits. But you know what? We don't have spread offenses in this game. When the San Francisco 49ers meet a team that tries to run the football, they usually shut down their runners. The top runners that have faced them in the past have been shut down somewhere between 70 and 90% against their running average. This is a physical football team. They're very healthy. They're pissed off at how they played last week. And they did not travel back to the West Coast. They stayed in Ohio. So they're very close. They don't have that big travel back and forth time zone issue. They stayed in the East Coast. So the travel they had was last week, not this week. So they stayed in Ohio. I believe it was Youngstown. And believe me, Harbaugh is a tough coach. He's a disciplinarian. He's going to be on their ass to cut down on those turnovers. Physically, on the field, San Francisco has much more talent at almost every position than the Jets. And I think they're also better coached. They will annihilate the Jets this week, and the game should stay under.
Strong stuff. Before we move on to the Twitter question of the week, I'm going to check in with our man of the street. That's Jeff Saad from LVSS. Jeff has a play. Jeff, take it away.
Thanks, Dave. I have a free total on the Bills-Patriots game coming up. But first, my September game of the month goes Sunday in the NFL. And you can have that monster winner along with a college football triple-header on Saturday. 3 plays, including a conference game of the year. And my September NFL game of the month is guaranteed win or 2 weeks are free. All this for just $19. Call 1-866-575-8916. Your free total for Week 4 is Patriots at the Bills. All the talk was on the improved defense of Buffalo. Then they had a miserable preseason ranked in the bottom 4 in yards plus points allowed. Then Week 1, a 48-24 loss to the Jets. That was part of a 10-2 run over the total for Buffalo. The Pats' defensive front is formidable, but the young secondary is still a weak spot. Bills' offense will be able to throw the football against New England, but won't be able to stop Tom Brady, Wes Welker, Brandon Lloyd, plus their devastating tight ends. Last year was a 34-31 Bills win, a 49-21 Patriots win, 3-1 over the total last 4 meetings. Play the Patriots-Bills Week 4 over the total. And once again, get my September game of the month on Sunday in the NFL and my college football triple header on Saturday. 3 plays, including a conference game of the year. And my September NFL game of the month is guaranteed win or 2 weeks are free, all for just $19. Call 1-866-575-8916. Back to you, Dave.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Knock 'em dead again this weekend. Twitter question of the week. This is easy. You follow us at Jim Feist Sports or on Facebook at Proline TV. And you can comment a question. If we use your question on the show, you put in a drawing to win $100 worth of plays from any handicapper of your choice. This is from Mary Hartwell of Hartford, Connecticut, back in my in-ships neck of the woods from long ago. Why do some teams look very differently at home than on the road? Do odds makers give some NFL teams a bigger home edge than others? I don't think as much as they do in college, where the add-on for being at home can be, it can be as high as a touchdown in some cases. Normally it's going to be a little more than 3 points at least. Not as much in the NFL, but certainly there's a variance. I mean, I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get the same home field advantage as, say, the Chicago Bears on a cold, wintry day in November where, it's Bears type of weather. The odds makers factor all that stuff in.
Well, I'll make a comment on it. I mean, we know that Seattle has one of the strongest home court advantages, or home field advantages, along with the New Orleans Saints, who last year were 8-0 against the number at home, and the number became more and more inflated, and it didn't matter. I mean, they were 9.5-point favorite over the Super Bowl champion New York Giants at the end of November, and still crushed them. It's a different story this year in New Orleans, but there is a variance, like you said. Jacksonville's not going to get the same kind of credence, or even the Cincinnati Bengals. The Steelers, of course, will be strong, but there is a difference, and the odds makers know this, and they certainly take it into account anytime they post the number.
All right, let's look at some football. The Giants and Eagles, it's an NFC East battle. And bear in mind, I'll start on this one. Bear in mind the Giants already have a divisional loss. They opened the season with Dallas and got a loss in that game. So this is a really big game for the Giants from 2 standpoints. They don't want another divisional loss. And as ugly as it's been for the Eagles are still 2-1. Now, you can say, boy, Philadelphia looks like garbage, and you're not going to get a disagreement from me. But the fact is they pulled out 2 one-point victories, and they're 2-1. The Eagles win this game, they're going to be in first place in that division. So for all the issues they've got, it's not that bad with a win here. The problem for them is they've really got some issues. Mike Vick is a mess at this point. I think they're reaching a point with him where he could get yanked, and we could see the rookie out of Arizona, Nick Foles, going in the game at some point. I'm not saying it's going to happen this weekend, but I think it's close to happening. He isn't playing well. He's not getting much protection, but he's also not recognizing things that he should be recognizing out there. That fumble last week on a big hit late in the half, 91-yard return the other way, that wasn't a blindside hit. He's a lefty. He should have felt it and seen it coming and not given up the football in that spot. I think they're very unhappy with Vic and with good reason. I don't think he's anything close to what he used to be. I think the body has taken such a beating over the years, even though he had some unwanted time off, shall we say. I think his body has still taken a beat. He's a small quarterback, and this is a big league, and he seems to be paying for it now. The Eagles also have some issues defensively, and I got to tell you something. If this is close late, Eli Manning will take them apart, because that's what Eli Manning does. So I think it's going to be a fun game. Hard-hitting, nasty, two teams that don't like each other. But in the end, I think the Giants are going to find a way to win this football game, Jim.
Absolutely. You said unwanted time off, but well-deserved time off. Might have been, should have been longer. Should have been longer, in my opinion. Michael Vick, to me, has lost his confidence, and rightfully so. He's turned the ball over like 12 times in 3 games. He's not very accurate. His body is taking a lot of punishment. He is a rather small quarterback. I think he's about 9 years in the league, other than the couple years he was gone. But the type of player he is, with the big players, fast players that he's being hit by, he's not built for this kind of punishment. These 6'6", 6'5" quarterbacks can take this a lot better than he can. Talented guy, no question about it, coming out of college, came into the league, he really made a big impression. But this is a 30-year-old guy now, and he's 9 years of punishment, 2 years of incarceration. He's not as accurate, he's not as quick, and he's lost his confidence. This guy, Michael Vick, is not Eli Manning. Put it that way. He's not in the same league as he is right now. And I'm not sure he ever was, because Michael Vick was never a champion. He didn't produce championships. But it's not all about Michael Vick. It's about the championship caliber Giants. They know how to win. They know how to win under pressure. They're actually an underdog in this game, which I predict will change by game time. I think the Giants will end up the favorite in the game, 1 or 2 points. It'll swing around. But the thing about this is, you pointed out at the top of your analysis, Dave, the Giants lost to Dallas. That's a division loss. That's huge. A division loss is much bigger than a non-division loss. The Eagles haven't played a division game yet. So if the Giants lose this game, they're 0-2 in the division, and Philadelphia's going to be 1-0 in the division. That is huge. That's so difficult to overcome. And this is actually, even though they're both 2-1, this is a much more important game to the Giants because of that division analysis.
Jim, we've mentioned how Michael Vick is taking a beating everywhere. And I heard on I won't even say the network, but that he has hit the turf 48 times already this season, either being sacked or on running plays, but he's hit the ground 48 different times. There's running backs that haven't carried the ball that many times in 3 games this year. But he's wearing down, he's breaking down, like you said, and he's been very inconsistent. He was very inconsistent early in his career with his accuracy, and it really hasn't improved all that much. And usually some of these guys, they do get better. Alex Smith has gotten better, and a lot of other quarterbacks out there, they get a feel for the league, they get a feel for the pace and the speed of the defenses. But I sort of have a feeling, my gut feeling is that this game is going to go over the total, because Manning will be able to move the ball. And the Eagles do have some explosive options on offense, not only a wide receiver, but also in running back. I love this McCoy, and I think it goes over the total. And like Dave said, you just have to make sure Michael Vick's still standing at the end of this game, and he's still in the game, because that Giant defense can punish you. So this is a light lean, and I agree with you, Jim. I think that the Giants end up being a favor on this one by kickoff. So just stick to this one closely and see what happens.
Yeah, I would say I think you're right, Jim. So for somebody, if you like the Giants enough to actually bet on them, I wouldn't be waiting around, because you'll get the worst of the number on Sunday, I'm quite sure. Let's cap it off with best bets and let everybody know what's going on. Once again, my offer this weekend, it's simple. You're going to get 3 days of my plays for $9. Works out to $3 a day. I've been going extremely well, so I'm real happy with the results, particularly in the NFL. They've been tremendous. Now, in addition to the 3 days, you're also going to get my Ohio State, Michigan State play, which is going out to all my clients. And you're going to get a TV game tonight and a $500 window play on Saturday. You will get one of my high roller plays on Saturday in college football. It's all by way of introducing you to what we've got at Dave Cokin Sports. $9. 1-866-896-1629 is the number. Chip, another really good Sunday for you. And now you're coming up with a game of the year. That's always big news.
Yeah, it is. Coming off our major shocker game of the month, a big win by the Tennessee Titans over Detroit. Never in doubt. Even with 18 seconds to go, we weren't sweating that game out at all. But we do have a great offer for everyone out there. Thursday through Monday, including the Thursday night game, Friday game, of course, a triple-header TV package on Saturday, and on Sunday, my NFL blowout game of the year on Sunday and Monday night include all for only $19. I made the same offer last week. You know, we're selling that game of the year online for $500, and you're going to get it as part of the package for only $19. So give me a call, 866-841-1665. You're going to get the whole kit and caboodle, and we have done quite a job in NFL and college football action to date. Don't miss out. Get on board early, and we'll take you right through the Super Bowl. 866-841-1665. Give me a call. You'll be glad you did. Free winner off the show. Jim, I got to come back with the under between the Niners and the Jets. Like Dave said, we just don't see how the Jets going to accumulate any points. I got to play the under in this game.
Yeah, I forgot to give my best bet. And
sounds like a good play.
I'm going to go the same way for my best bet. I forgot to give it out under on that game. Jim, you know, it's fun to win. Obviously, nobody likes to lose. It's fun to win. It can be exciting, and there's a rush you can get. But I like the rush you get, the calm rush, if you will, that you get when you've got two games like this. South Carolina is just annihilating Missouri last week, and I will tell you, by the way, Missouri looked intimidated in that football game. And then you got a more than 2-touchdown underdog, and they're winning the game. So that's when you can kind of sit back and really enjoy them. With South Carolina and Kansas State last week. You going to do that again this weekend?
Well, we're sure hoping so. You know, we all work real hard to try to find games that not only cover, but cover easily, because we don't want to get those tough losses at the end, like you had, Dave, with Florida State. And anybody that had Green Bay on Monday, you know, I didn't. I had Seattle, so I know I was very fortunate to win that game, but those kind of games, you know, make you grow old fast, get gray fast, and sometimes they bite you in the pocketbook as well. I'm looking for a big play that is really super, and that would be my personal elite play, like the Cardinals were last week. And I have that lined up. When you call 1-866-841-1655, you inquire about the pair of college conference games of the year on Saturday for $29, and ask about the $2,000 personal elite play that we have a huge fan-friendly discount on for Sunday. That's 1-866-841-1655.
We got it mapped out to do pretty well for you this weekend. We've been going well. Excuse me, and I think let's stay in that mode. It's a lot of fun. We'll come back with another Proline next week. Don't forget to check out the college edition of Proline. That's available as well. So for Jim and Chip, I'm Dave. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Good luck, everyone.